for a wild night.
Welcome everybody to episode 114 of Born to be Wild, a Wild exclusive Hearthstone podcast where we have fun hanging out with friends, talking about the Wild format of Hearthstone and spotlighting members of the Wild community. I'm your host, as always, Nate Wolf. It's great to be back on another beautiful Friday evening here, joining you from Portland, Oregon, and it's been kind of a crazy day for me. Really excited to be home and get start on the weekend, and it's always my favorite night of the week, talking about Hearthstone, hanging out with friends and stuff. And so I'm joined tonight by two of my favorite people. Sheep is off tonight doing some family stuff. I have a wonderful stand-in. But first, Hydra, welcome back.
Well, thank you. I'm back and I have electricity so far. As you know, if you listened last week, my electricity completely cut out halfway through the show, but I still don't have cell phone service because that went out early this morning. And for everybody else all across the nation, if you have Rogers, so that's cool. But no, doing well, and I'm great to be back.
And we do have a wonderful stand-in. It's not but he speaks French, it's and he speaks French. It's a bonus trait right there, I'm telling you. Welcome back to the show, Blutrane. How are you?
I'm good. I went back to Montreal to visit family, and I will tell you that my French is none too good anymore. Living out here on the West Coast, Best Coast, for 12 years has really impacted my linguistic skill sets when it comes to speaking French. But what are you going to do?
Hey, I mean, you know, it always sounds impressive when I hear it.
Wasn't too impressive to them. In fact, it was so bad that they'd pity switch to English for me. That's how you know. When
The French people had to pity switch to English.
Yeah, and they have a high tolerance to pity switching.
Wow. Does your wife speak French?
No, she speaks Cantonese, Mandarin, and English. She tried to learn French, but it was very difficult. So we decided that 5 languages between the two of us was more than enough.
That makes sense. Well, I'm glad you're back. You're always a great sit-in and guest host when Sheep is away. So thank you very much for coming. It's great.
It's my pleasure. I always love being here.
Thank you. We got some fun surprises tonight. I think a few things to talk about on the show, and to debut, maybe is the right word.
Maybe.
So,
maybe.
Right? So yeah, I'm excited to be here tonight and talking some Hearthstone.
For those of you joining us for the first time, welcome aboard. Let me briefly explain how this show works. We record this podcast live every Friday evening at twitch.tv/borntobewildhs. And the video version of this podcast is then posted to YouTube shortly thereafter. Audio versions are also distributed to all podcast apps. However, you're watching, listening, or absorbing via osmosis this podcast today. Thank you. Yes, you.
Right there. Yeah, thank you, everybody. It's great to be here, and I really appreciate, especially those of you joining us live on Twitch. So thank you. It's always great to interact and see what everybody's up to. So thanks for being here. Before we get started into the main topics of tonight's show, real quick housekeeping. So very gigantic thank you to Shokunin, who's the executive producer of our show. And we'll be talking about a giant giveaway that he's sponsoring in just a minute. But also to the other patrons of our show. Your support really means the world to us, and it helps us fund things like giveaways and the website and prizes for the listener series and stuff like that. And so we're very grateful for your support. If you are someone who enjoys the content and would like to help support, there's a few ways that you can do that. Either liking, subscribing to our stuff on YouTube really helps. Also, writing any sort of reviews on iTunes or whatever podcast app helps other people find us. If you're watching this on Twitch, we do have some cool emotes that you can unlock by following for free, and there's others that you can unlock by subscribing. We work with a really talented artist named Christina Oe, and she's wonderful. We got some really fun emotes. And if you want to subscribe, you can do it for free with Amazon Prime. Last thing, we've got some new merch. We've talked about it recently, but we do have some pretty cool shirts up on the shop with some new designs and stuff. And so we'll have to do another one, I guess, for this upcoming set. Typically, we'll work with Christina to do some new artwork every time a new set comes out. And so this last one is very swordfish or fish rogue themed, because that's kind of what our jam has been for the past several months. But but we'll have to do like a Sherlock Holmes or murder mystery or some kind of something or other for this upcoming set. So we'll think about it, but soon. Anyways, if you go to our website, there's a link to the merch shop if anybody's interested. The shirts are like $20. And then if you're interested in donating to the show financially, we do have a Patreon. The links to all of this stuff, it can be found on our website, borntobewildhs.com. Also, we've got all of our YouTube stuff and all the show notes if you're looking to copy and paste deck codes and find lore content and all that stuff. So borntobewildhs.com. All right, cool. That's the housekeeping. Wanted to just get it out of the way, and then we can talk Hearthstone. So one other thing talk about each week. Usually Sheep will do this because Sheep is the spreadsheet guru and has been instrumental in helping with the listener series. But we have our Born to Be Wild listener series, Wild Hearthstone tournament series that we have been doing. We are on the final week. So sitting here looking for my artwork here. There it is. So this is the final week. We are in top two. It's come down to Dr. BUMD versus Schmoopy Daddy for the finals. And so this week's challenge is called the Final Battle. And I'm going to play a real brief sound bite from Lore Master Goliath the Dwarf telling us the lore behind this week's challenge.
Through trickery and manipulation, Queen Ajara was successful in breaking the chains of N'Zoth, who in turn rescued her from death at the hands of the champions of Azeroth. With N'Zoth released from its Titanrot prison, corruption spread across the land. Nyalotha, N'Zoth's sleeping city, has awakened, and the champions of Azeroth venture deep into the horrific realm to confront mad heralds, inscrutable horrors, and N'Zoth himself in a fight to determine the fate of the world.
Nice. All right. That is...
Goliath always does such a good job with those.
Right?
I enjoy them.
They're so fun. This has been a really unique season for us, trying something new, like trying to incorporate the lore stuff with the challenges, and it's been really fun. Goliath is amazing, and I loved that the epic narration of the storyline part is just wonderful. So they never get old. And it's always for me kind of a throwback to the old like little cinematics from Warcraft 1 and 2 between missions. The voice lines are so similar. It's great. So this is the final week. Again, Dr. BUMD versus Schmoopy Daddy. Typically we're doing the matches after the show, but it has some schedule conflicts, and so we're trying to sort out when we're going to do the final match. It might be this weekend, it might be next week. We'll keep everybody posted. Either way, it'll be up on YouTube in case people miss it live.
And be epic.
It'll be great. So the theme here, we're talking about, this is it, the final battle with N'Zoth and corruption and everything. And so the primary challenge for this week is that each deck must contain at least 8 corrupted cards. And the secondary challenge being that each deck must contain at least 9 minions with a tribal tag. So tribes being Murlocs, Quillbore, Mech, Demon, etc. And then having this new set come out through a little bit of a wrench in things, because Prince Renathal is a card, and so we to make room for that, we're scaling a little bit. So if either competitor wants to use Prince Renathal on a deck, then the numbers scale up a little bit, and so instead of 8 corrupted cards, it's like, I don't know, is it 11 or 12 or something like that. Anyways, should be a blast. Regardless, like, big giant shout out to Schmoopy Daddy and to Dr. BUMD for making it this far. It's incredible. We've streamed a lot of their matches so far, and it's just an absolute blast. Really excited to see it. And there are some prizes involved, and so very, very excited to see how this all turns out. We'll keep you all posted on when that's going to be. So more to follow. after this week, we're going to be on hiatus, but we do typically listener series alongside every expansion. And so we'll be doing one, I'm sure, probably in maybe late August, early September, something like that.
Yeah, sounds about right.
So, yeah. I've had a blast with it, though. So, if anybody...
I'd love to see that the idea that you came up with actually, came together, because you're like, listen, guys, I got this crazy idea. Normally we just come up with challenges, but let's actually do a theme. We're all kind of like, that sounds a little difficult, but hey, here we are.
It's so crazy that it just might work.
Yeah.
I will say, it's corny, but what is it saying? Love it when a plan comes together. And so it's been good to kind of see how this all kind of came to be, and it's been kind of fun. And so maybe we'll keep it going. I haven't had time to study the lore from this new set yet, but Goliath says we can have a great Shadowlands theme for next round. Lots of material to work with on the topic. That's great. I love doing it, and so we'll have a little bit of downtime between the end of this one and the start of the next one to kind of plan some of this stuff. And
I am curious about one thing, and I'm sure that once you have your lore episode, these questions will be answered. But so the last Hearthstone expansion with the Nagas seemed very tied to WoW lore, whereas this upcoming expansion, while it reminds me of One Night in Karazhan, where they kind of took something that was a thing, but really kind of expanded it and put their own twist on it, because I don't remember so much whimsy with respect to this particular theme, but I could be mistaken. This is why I am in need of lore episodes, because I do like to be informed, but I also don't like to do research, so it works out perfectly.
I will say,
win-win.
Yeah.
I did the deep dive for the lore in Sunken City. I ended up writing some 20-page document or something, and it was kind of funny. My wife went out of town to visit her folks, and I was home by myself for the week. And during the week it's all work, and then on the weekend it was like, oh, what are you gonna do? Play some Hearthstone or whatever. And I did this deep dive into the lore, and I spent probably 8 hours reading and writing. And look outside and it's dark. Well, what happened? I don't know anything about the Shadowlands. Frankly, I'm a little bit reluctant to go down that rabbit hole quite yet, but I'm excited to maybe, Goliath, I do the research so you don't have to. Yes, please. But I'm looking forward to it too. The lore is always fun, and I think, Blutrane, you mentioned the whimsy aspect, and that's one of the things I think that keeps bringing me back to Hearthstone, because I've played other card games and they're fine, but Hearthstone, not only is it really polished with the animations and the artwork and stuff, but the voice lines are hilarious. There's just the right mix of serious and funny, and I guess whimsy is the right word, and it's been enjoyable. I I've been playing a bunch of this degenerate Neptulon Big Priest, and every time Neptulon attacks, what does he say? Something about
you should know, because you attacked me with him 20 times that game.
20 times, and it says something what is it? Something chum, right? Or
I don't know.
Hold on.
And I've been playing it too, but I've been watching Netflix on the side.
I usually play with the sound off.
Well,
Look at us. 3 of us don't know the voice line in Neptulon, even though we've all played more Neptulon than we care to admit.
Feeble prawns. Yeah,
there it is.
Feeble prawns.
I was playing Neptulon in bed at 11 o'clock last night.
Oh my gosh. All right, wait, hold on. Here it is. Oh, why is it playing this music? All right. This is from somebody's YouTube. All right, this is not what I'm looking for. Hold on.
Pretty catchy tune.
Yeah, that was pretty catchy.
You can tell
all right.
really liked it.
All right, here's from Mark.
Address.
Here's from Mark Mixie. This is a OTK Neptulon. I'm looking for the sound. It's that feeble prawn. It's lovely.
Let's fast forward to the kill.
Right?
We need Skipperino Mark's Mixerino.
Source next card. I think so. Uh-oh. I need to put this up. Although he probably has a mask, so this is kind of irrelevant, right?
I don't want to fast forward because then I'm going to get a commercial. All right, wait, hold on. Here we go. Come on, say it.
That was really cool.
Say it, say it, say it. There we go.
Neptulon is a card.
Oh, and then you heard Jaina die.
Yep. Feeble
Typically what happens when he goes face.
Yeah. So I totally forgot that we met on ladder until you reminded me.
Oh, I was not. I was not in a happy place. It was more just that I was getting. You know what? You probably know better than I. It's like nobody wants to talk to you or have anything to do with you. But the second you queue a ranked ladder game, it's like you need to be looking at this thing. You need to be in this conversation. You need to have your attention on anything else other than your iPad, computer, or phone. And you're wondering why you made choices in life. And I was playing the hard to pilot deck, and I was playing against the autopilot deck, and I mean, this is why autopilot decks can be good sometimes. It's not a question. It's not a measure of you as a player. It's a measure of how much you actually can devote to paying attention to your game.
I'm not apologizing.
And nor should you.
You know what? I did hit Legend the honorable way, so it's okay. Oh,
honor is relative.
That's true. That's true.
Everyone's honorable deck is their least favorite. So, you know, people love the decks that win them games and hate the ones that cause them to lose.
That's true. That's true. All right, I have some exciting news. I got a really cool email this afternoon that we have. Where is my little graphic here? This is not us. That's Martian Boo, but we'll be joining Martian Boo. We've been invited back to the theory crafting event on July 21st, and so that's very cool. Very, very excited to be able to participate in that, and was an absolute blast last time, getting to play with the new cards, getting to use the Golden Celebration card back, pretending that we actually earned it.
Yeah, we'll do that again.
Sure, why not? It was cool. We got to use all the new skins before they came out, and so that was really cool. And they had said that Wild was a big hit last time, and so I imagine that there may be even more of us joining. I don't really know, but I'm really excited. And so I've seen I've seen this post from Martian Boo. I've seen Raffle as well will be joining us, and I imagine there's a handful of people that'll probably
because
be
you need people to queue games to queue into them. So
hey, that's right.
That's kind of why I really enjoyed the event, because every game felt like a show match.
Right?
It was a really nice community event, and I'm really happy to see them doing this again. I really enjoyed being a spectator, and I guess it'll be fun to see over the next day or two who else is going to be participating.
Right, and we might not even see until early next week, because so here's what happens, right? I mean, I don't want to reveal too much, but we you get an invitation, and there's some details about the event. And you have to you respond. Are you going to be able to participate? Yes or no. And if you say yes, then they provide some art assets and additional details. And they don't work on the weekends. And so it's a normal office Monday through Friday type thing. And so
they don't work on the weekends.
Well,
but what if something needs nerfing?
What are you saying? I shouldn't be tweeting at Ixar and Celestalon and Alkali
I will
on
say
Saturday morning?
The beautiful thing is so many of them respond from their personal accounts. But in terms of actual business stuff, so we have until mid next week to respond. Which I've already responded, but I imagine we'll start seeing this stuff unfold over the next week or so to see who else is participating, and but we had a lot of fun last time. And I will say that the craziest thing was that the time, you look at this and you go 9 to 3, that seems like all day. that time
It felt like nothing.
it's 6 hours, right? That time was over like in the blink of an eye. It was so fast. And yeah, I don't know. We'll have to figure out how we want to do it. So like last time we took community deck submissions and stuff, and it was cool. But like the time was so quick that we didn't have time to play everyone's decks, and I, we'll see. May do some kind of homebrew type stuff, and I guess we'll see. I'm really looking forward to it though, and it was an absolute blast. And it's
I believe we didn't get a lot of theory craft time. What did we get, like 2 days with the card dump the last time, something like that?
Yeah, the final reveal I think was only a day or two before. And so it was we didn't have all that much time to theory craft. And so it was like, all right, well, community submissions, and that was fun, but I think I would have preferred to try to do like a deep dive and theory craft some decks. Do we know when the final reveal is? The day before. Yeah, it looks like the final reveal is July the 20th.
Well, now we're a little more prepared in the fact that we know this, and that before we were sort of scrambled a little bit. But
So you need to take 2 days off, the day
Yes.
before and the day
Yes.
of. And then you have to take Friday off because, I mean, who doesn't want a 5-day weekend?
You know what?
Smart.
I might do that. I got all this PTO that I haven't my wife was telling me this week, like, why don't you take a long weekend? Why don't you take some time off? And it just never occurred to me. I'm like, oh, there's work to do. I could, like, just for my mental health, like, it'd be great to take a few days off work. It'd be great. Maybe we'll do that. That'd be fun. It's hard to juggle. Like, there's just not, when there's the final card dump the day prior. That being said, like, I was thinking about it last time, and they had wanted feedback, and so we collectively provided quite a bit of it, and it was constructive, I feel like. And one of the things that I mentioned was that, when the final card reveal is the day before, it doesn't leave us a lot of time to theory craft for the event. On the flip side, like, the purpose of the event is a theory craft event.
Yeah.
And so the idea is that, hey, you can build decks like live on the stream and experiment. And I think the other piece is that you don't want too much time between the reveal and the theory craft, because you don't want everything like solved on day one.
Bringing the best deck and just storming.
Well, yeah,
slaughtering everybody.
It's it's some time to be like, maybe they should be unrefined for a little while. So
I think it's less of a question of being unrefined, but like, if you take a step back, what are they trying to accomplish? They're trying to hype up their new expansion.
Yeah.
And so, final card dump day is pretty exciting. You get all the cards, you have access to them in the deck builder. And then on the heels of that, you've got the wonderful community event. And then shortly thereafter, the expansion releases. So this is all, I mean, I'm not saying this to be cynical. I think it's smart. You want to generate buzz and hype, and I think this is a very good way to do it. And they just want to have those successive events that'll encourage people to pre-order or even just engage with it and to raise awareness. And so I think that's why they compress it all, because it's kind of like one after another after another.
Keep it going.
It's the hype train.
It's good. And I think if I recall correctly, they kind of popped into the streams and did some giveaways last time, I think.
Oh my goodness. And they gave us so many codes to give away. I want to say it was like 8 or something. It was a lot.
Oh, wow.
It was a lot. A couple of 2 or 3 mega bundles, and
at first
5
they gave
or
us
6 of the standard ones, and it was like
3 that we would normally get, or 2 or 3, and then they like threw like 5 more at us.
Yeah, it was pretty incredible. And so, who knows? And it was interesting. Like, some of the feedback is like, look, we're not, we're a podcast, it's a regular weekly thing, and we do this weekly kind of like clockwork, but we're not regular streamers when we're uploading new content or live every day, and so it's a little bit different. Like we were looking at analytics afterwards, and our numbers were not like when you compare us to like Raffle or somebody. It's very different. But that being said, it was like wow, it's just it's very cool to even be considered for something like this, and it was super cool.
Well, Nate, every Harlem Globetrotters needs the generals, right? Raffle needs someone to dunk on, right? So why not you?
I've been featured in Raffle videos numerous times, and it has always been losing. So there you go. Oh,
We've all been featured.
That's it's super cool. But big shout out to the Alkali and Nick and the other community managers. It's been a great experience working with them, and excited to be considered again for this. So very.
I'm excited to see who else is invited this time. If it's going to be the exact same people, that's cool. If they're adding to it, that's even more cool. So I'm waiting to see those tweets pop up.
Right.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. While we're on the subject of this Castle Nathria upcoming expansion, we do have like if we get giveaway codes or whatever, like we'll announce that on the show and figure that out. I haven't heard yet. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. But we have a massive giveaway that we're doing, sponsored by Shokunin. Sorry, I'm trying to click here through the little picture that I wanted to bring up on the screen.
Massive is an understatement, by the way.
This is like, you ever seen Spaceballs? Where it's instead of light speed, ludicrous speed. This is the like ludicrous giveaway. This is so here's the giveaway. Courtesy of Shokunin, he's funded this entire thing. He sent me $400 of BattleNet money. And the goal here is to do one giveaway to one person to get the entire set on day one. And so this would include the Mega Bundle and the Standard Bundle and whatever is left of the $400 BattleNet balance. And
Yowza indeed, Arimarn.
That's huge.
Right? It's incredibly generous, and so we've always kind of jokingly referred to him as the patron saint of Wild, and rightfully so. I think it's just incredible. So stay tuned. We've got kind of a fun method of how we wanted to give this away, and what he had said to us was, "Hey, let's just you guys do it how you want to do it. I don't want to micromanage, but the goal would be to give it away to somebody from the community rather than some like random retweeter." And I'm 100% on board with that. And so we've got kind of a fun little thing that we're working on. We were trying to get it ready for this week's show and have not quite finished it. But stay tuned, particularly in the Discord, and we'll post something. I'm sure we'll be talking about it soon. But
I will say that the way that we're going to give this away basically guarantees that one of our core listeners and community members will be getting this.
Yeah, you got to know the show and know the cast members and our kind of inside jokes and stuff. But it'll be fun. It'll be fun. So stay tuned. We'll have some announcements, whether it's probably on Discord. I'm sure we'll be talking about it. For those of you who are interested in the Discord, just go to our website, borntowildhs.com. There's a link to join the Discord. It's free online community where we hang out and chat and share deck codes and funny pictures and stories and all that stuff. So very cool. Very, very excited to be able to do this. And we wanted to do it sooner than later so that we can get these giveaway bundles purchased and sent out ahead of time. The other piece, which is really interesting, we talked about it very briefly last week. It's just that I never knew that there was a cap on how much BattleNet balance you can have at any given time. He was trying to send it in one lump and it errored out. And so he had to send it in two separate payments of 200. And even then, like, I can't, I've got one of them still sitting in my inbox. It won't let me redeem it because it like exceeds my maximum balance, which is hilarious. I suppose it's just like a fraud prevention thing. But I want to get these bundles like gifted so that I can accept the other part of the money so that it can sit in my thing so that I can give it away. And so, anyways, but just, holy generosity, Batman. I'm very excited to be able to provide this. So big thank you to Shokunin, and stay tuned for more info coming very soon. Okay, some news. We got some news.
Yeah, one thing that I wanted to point out that I thought was pretty neat was that originally we were told that BlizzCon for 2023 wasn't going to happen at all, and that there was going to be a reimagining of what BlizzCon is and what it means. So they were going to sort of take the year off. But we ended up getting a quote here from Mike Ybarra, and this is, I'm just going to read straight up what he said, and that is, we previously announced we were taking a pause on BlizzCon while we reimagine it for the future, but do want to return to a live event that enables us to celebrate the community. We recently hired a new leader of BlizzCon, April McKee, who is hard at work on that plan. We are committed to bringing BlizzCon back in 2023. So, live BlizzCon back 1 year from now.
All right. That'd be cool. It's right by my parents' house.
you don't need a hotel.
Right? We keep talking about, like, it'd be so cool to meet up with everybody. That's probably a good place to do it. Although it's packed. My brother's gone a bunch of times. I've never gone. It seems like it would be hard to, like, there'd be so many people there that how do you even, but I'd love to go. So we'll see. I'm happy that it's coming back, though. It's always seemed like a pretty cool event. And my favorite experiences with BlizzCon were back when they used to do Hearthstone Worlds at BlizzCon, so that you could see all the previews of the new set and the new games and all the other stuff, and then this big final Hearthstone matches as well. And they don't really do that anymore, but a lot of good memories.
Yeah, I've never had a chance to go myself, but I would definitely like to. I even talked to my wife about it, and she's like, "Yeah, like it's the game that you play and you do a show about. Duh, go."
It was cool. We got invited one time to participate in Con Before the Storm, or whatever it's called. They do like a big podcast with the other podcasts, right? And like we got invited to go. I think Craig and I way back when, and just couldn't do it. It was like the timing just didn't line up, but it was super cool. The idea of it's really neat, and a lot of familiar faces and stuff. I'd love to
do a panel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It'd be fun. Well, so the ladder reset this past week. Today is July the 8th, and so, so ladder reset a week ago today, and so we got to play, a little bit over the weekend and stuff. I ended up hitting Legend on the 4th of July in the morning. Kind of interesting story for me. I was playing that Degenerate Big Priest deck, and I took it to D10, and I was having fun with it, but Blutrane's doing a thumbs down for all your audio listeners. Feeble prawn. It felt very high rolly to me, and I was entertained, but my win rate with it was maybe 55%, because it's a high roll deck, and when you get the, as 6J would call, the funny cards, then you win, and when you don't, then you don't win. And I need to learn how to top deck better, but anyways, I took it to Diamond 10, and I was like, all right, I want to play something different. Was looking at my old stats and realized that I've hit Legend with every class except Mage, and I was like, I'd like to do it with Mage. I'm looking at the Tempo Storm Wild Meta Snapshot. Quest Mage is tier 1.
Never hit it with Secret Mage?
Nope. I've gotten really close, and I almost hit it with Quest Mage way back when it was the Giants version. I took it to like D1 and then switched off to Reno Priest because the meta was not very favorable to it at the time.
I've always had this thing whenever there's the boogeyman or the big bad deck that everyone hates, like secret mage that I didn't want to ladder with it, right? So like something like that, I would hipster avoid just because like it's so silly, right? Best deck, I'm not playing that. So like when there was the best deck, yeah, just for some reason never played it.
Was Secret Mage truly ever the best deck?
It was definitely the most annoying deck for
fair
a
enough.
while.
You'll get no argument from me there.
It was pretty good for a minute. I think it was pretty solid for a little while there. Anyhow,
It made Rod Johnston quit the game.
It made Jordan stop playing Constructed for like a year too. A lot of people disliked that deck. It's kind of like how I loathe the Big Priest irrationally. I think it evokes a lot of strong emotions in people.
Yeah.
And I totally get it.
Oh, yeah, no, I do too. And so I wanted to play some mage, and so I reached out to 6J for some advice and maybe some co-op with the new version
known mage degenerate.
6J is one of the best Hearthstone players probably in the world, and is incredibly talented at the game. If you look at the current Tempo Storm Wild meta snapshot, that's 6J's list, and thought, hey, we're friends. I can ask some advice, maybe do some co-op, and we did. And I really appreciate it, but I lost 10 games in a row, and I was like, "Yep, nope, not playing this." I was so like, I think a good player can play that deck and make it look easy, and whether like I just suck, or I was drawing poorly, or I was getting bad matchups, or whatever, like the deck was just not clicking for me. It's like, yep.
Two true stories about 6J. One, he once beat me playing Mozaki Mage when I was playing Pirate Warrior. This was pre-quest with an auto-generated ice block for 3 ice blocks in that game. I've never forgiven him. That's story number one. Second true story, 6J plays Hearthstone better than I when trying to pilot 3 games at once, like 2 co-ops and his own game. Better than I can pilot 1 game when it has my full concentration.
Did 6J play Artifact or something?
No one played Artifact. But I would imagine that might have been of interest. So yeah, the Quest Mage is that it's a hard deck to play when you don't get the high roll, right?
It is, and
and it's very matchup dependent too.
It is. We learned. I mean, I did. There's some nuance to it, and definitely some insight working with 6J on. Well, the idea of you want Savara to like eat the good cards, and you play it. You play it one way into aggro and a different way into combo or control decks, and this is kind of what you're looking for. But it's so nuanced that I feel like a good player can make it look easy, or you'll see sometimes people just luck into the random stuff, and it just was not clicking with me, and I was like, what, forget it. This is going to tank my MMR, and I'm not getting it, and it's just making me frustrated. I was really trying hard to like keep my cool, and I was about to lose it, and I was like, all right, you know what, I can't play this anymore. And so I switched over to Even Lock, which I've never really played that much of. Played a ton of Warlock, right?
Seems like a Nate approved deck. It's a Warlock deck,
right? It is. And so this is Rotted's list, Rotted Zombie. We've had him on the show before, good friend, and
it's so fun.
It's really good. Meow. Is that Rory? Hi, Rory.
That's Rory.
Yeah, but I never really played it that much. Although with the great things, like I've watched Rotted play it so much between streams and Discord and stuff, that I kind of had an idea. And 6J was still there for part of it, and just kind of learning how to play it. The first few turns, just tap, 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 and then you're dropping Mountain Giants for 3. Or you've got the Knolls that you play. Anethron for 1 mana is pretty cool. Gigafin is one of probably the best cards to come out of this past set, I think.
The Gigafin combo with I forget the name of the Murloc, the one that lets you play a Murloc for health instead of mana.
Sea Devil Stinger is the one.
Sea Devil Stinger and Gigafin is like Warlock's Mrgl Tox.
It's
just Oh,
especially especially into the more aggro stuff. It was just crazy good. And so here's the list. I'll review it real super quick for the audio listeners. So 2 copies of Raised Dead, 2 Cult Neophytes, 2 Dark Bomb, 2 Defiles, 2 Dirty Rats, 2 Drain Souls, 1 Encumbered Pack Mule, 2 Showstoppers, 2 Blade Master Okani, 2 Sea Devil Stinger, 1 Anatheron, 2 Battleground Battle Masters, Dreadlich Tamsin, Gen Greymane, Gigafin, 2 Goldshire Gnolls, 2 Mountain Giants, and 2 Molten Giants. And so, yeah, it was super fun. I really enjoyed it. My win rate was, it increased significantly. The lesson I learned, I think, though, was to like, nothing, what is the saying? Like, nothing good happens after 2 a.m. or midnight or whatever, insert time here. And I was playing until the wee hours of the morning and realized like I had lost like 4 in a row. Like, you know what? Like I hit the final boss twice and was in favorable matchups too. And I was just getting high rolled, or maybe I was playing poorly. I don't know. And kind of realized, you know what? I just need to go to bed. I'm probably, it sucks to like quit on a loss, but sitting here looking at like 4 losses in a row, I'm like, I just need to call it. And so I got up the next morning. It was 4th of July, and everyone was still asleep. Jumped on, went 3-0, sailed into Legend. Came in at rank 67, which was cool. And I was like, it's 2 away from the funny number. And then I was hoping to like decay into it, and then I reverse decayed down to 65. I was like, what the heck? That's not the right way. Anyways, the deck is super fun. The idea is, what would 6J say? You play the big dumb idiots, right? You know, you drop your Mountain Giant, and then you give it Wind Fury with Battlemaster. I think if I was to cut anything from this, like Okani was like so. The rest of it felt really solid. I'd cut Gen if I could, but but the deck in general was awesome. It was super fun to play, and yeah, I loved it. And also this combo is super gross, just with Showstopper. You know, so who cares if somebody freezes all your stuff? You just Showstopper and kill your Showstopper and go face. It's great.
Showstopper actually makes you favored into free Shaman.
Oh yeah,
it's gross.
The free Shaman like almost felt like I don't want to say a freebie. You know, you have to really play smartly. I'm looking for a word. Like you have to be careful, but I feel like your favorite, like, yeah, let him fill up the board and freeze all your stuff, and then you just unfreeze it and go face, and that's how you win. It was a lot of fun to play, and I hadn't really had that much experience with it, and so now I have. If anyone wants to try it, the code is in the show notes that are available on our website and all that stuff. I'll post the code in chat, but it's in the Tempo Storm meta snapshot as well. It's Rotted's list, and it was listed as tier 1, so yeah, we'll speak. Speaking of tier 1 decks, I hear that there's a Murloc Shaman enjoyer in the room.
What? I had to check the date on your tweet, by the way.
I thought you were joking when.
No. So I was traveling. I decided to travel over the 4th of July and the 1st of July, which is the relevant holiday for us in Canada, because I assumed work would be very quiet, because I've been told the 4th is kind of a big deal. So ladder reset while I was away, and I couldn't help myself. I was queuing games of Hearthstone. That's why I didn't tweet any stats, because most of my games were played on mobile. And I would say that the majority of my games, I played the Beast Hunter, or Copper Hunter as it's known, which is kind of like the aggro savant deck out there. It's an aggro deck. It's very tricky to play. I don't even know if these labels are kind of fleeting. Is it really an aggro deck? I mean, whatever. You can call it whatever you like.
Could be aggro, could be combo. There's a lot of OTK from hand, right? I mean, it's you give your beasts charge, and
that's why it's a good. That's why it can play. It has game in the meta because if you think about it, like the aggro rogue does well because it has so much burst from hand. With the Tundra Rhino, which gives all your beasts charge, you can set up a lot of real clever plays with Pelican Diver, with Hydralodon, which is a key piece of that deck. And I was doing pretty well with it, even though I was playing on mobile. I think I was mentally kind of trying to keep track of my win losses per play session. I was going like 3-2 most of the time. So in the 60s, which is pretty good. And I came back, wanted to finish my climb. I think I started like right at Diamond, and I had a pretty easy time between Diamond 10 and 5. And then Jay was in the chat with me. I just started getting bad beats, right? Like bad matchups, bad luck in the good matchups, and I just wasn't moving. And I got really frustrated. Sorry, Jay. Sorry, Mountain Man. And I kind of dipped, and I played a few more games just without being in a Discord, so I could really concentrate. And I started to reflect on, well, what am I queuing into? I'm queuing into Togwaggle Druid, Cthulhu Druid, Pillager Rogue, and Mine Rogue. And the Hunter deck doesn't do very well into Druid. And frankly, it doesn't do so great into the Rogues either, just because of the way that the matches play out. So I thought, okay, I'm either going to take a break or I'm going to have to change it up. What beats these decks? Why not Murloc Shaman? Yes, Druid is Poison Seeds. The thing is that when they see Shaman, they're going to assume it's free Shaman. And the Rogues just can't do anything against your Murlocs that kind of just snowball.
Yeah.
And so I just sailed in. I think I was Diamond 4 when I started playing it. And I think I dropped one game. And it's one of those things where if you look at the global matchup spread, it's not a very good deck. It basically, you don't want to play into Rogue. You don't want to play into Shaman because it evolve. Those were the two decks, the two matchups. And so it worked really well. When I tweeted it out, I made it very clear that you play it at your own risk.
Yes.
I do think that what Murloc Shaman has going for it is Clownfish is really, really good. They now have Mana Cheat, and they have much better draw now than Ice Fishing.
Yeah.
Clownfish into Gorlock is so good. And I remember playing Murloc Shaman last time it was reasonably decent. We ran both Everything is Awesome, the buff that gets discounted, and the other buff that always costs 3. And we always were like the 3 cost buff was better. But now with Clownfish, that buff really, really is often played for 0 mana. Or at least 1 or 2, and it was also very strong. It's a lot of fun. I suspect it could do better than all that. I still have to play on EU, so I might experiment with it a little bit to see if it was really just a fluke or if maybe the deck is better than we gave it credit for. But I'm playing Standard right now, because Murloc Shaman's really good in Standard, and I just really like Clownfish. And the thing with Standard is that everyone's playing these greedy Renathal decks, or like these decks that do nothing for 4 turns, and you just you steamroll the big Spell Mage, you steamroll the Druids. Man, I have never made so many friends in a Standard climb than I have this month.
Is that what they said when they added you as a friend?
No, they said things I probably shouldn't say on the show here.
Well, we censor the bad words with the Mrgls, so what you just heard was a lot of swear words.
That's the thing. They weren't swearing at me. They were saying really mean things, wishing me ill and whatnot. Anyways, it's aside from the point. So yeah, I think Murloc Shaman's like one of those tier 3 decks in Wild that it can high roll and it can be good. I think it just gets countered by too much. Mech decks.
I love I would gather though, like you said, that people don't see it coming, right? You see a shaman and immediately you think like, oh, it's free shaman, here we go. And you start playing Murlocs, it's like, wait a minute. And the deck's like just steamrolls so fast. So,
and this isn't like a 5-star bonus that someone's playing the Murloc, so they probably really don't expect it.
No, although I will say I was watching Corb stream the other day, and there was this person who was like rank 30 legend that was like playing Murloc Shaman, and I suspect because at high legend you're seeing a lot of druid and a lot of like combo rogue, and it does quite well into it. Someone in chat asked if I was running the 4-mana Murloc that kind of dredges and spawns a 2/2 copy of it. I was not. I even cut War Leader. I ran a very low to the ground list. The only expensive Murlocs I ran were the Clownfish and the Gorlock Raveler. And my thought was that I wanted to stick to mostly 1-drops and 2-drops because if you don't have a solid 1-drop, it's fatal. On the coin, you want to be getting your Clownfish out so you can go as wide as possible. And on the play, you kind of want to do the 1-drop, 2-drop. Buff on 3. So, and that's not to say that these cards are bad. I just, I really didn't put much thought into it. I kind of just was like, I'm going to play Murloc Shaman. I just kind of threw the thing together really quickly and went. So it's not like I had a deep strategizing session. I do believe, however, that the same 30 I settled on was what Raffle settled on when he was experimenting with the deck early in the expansion cycle. I did tweet it, so y'all can check that out. But I mean, honestly, if you're gonna play Shaman, probably better choices than Murloc. But you might have some success with it if you queue into the right matchups. It's Clownfish is scary. Like Clownfish honestly, really, like yeah. I wonder if Clownfish survives Standard. I mean, I don't know. I don't like. It's hard to know what's going to happen when the new cards come out.
Yeah.
But I will tell you that in Standard, Renethal doesn't. I mean, I mean, I'm actually happy when I see people get the 40 health in Standard because it usually means that they're playing super greedy decks, and I'm just going to knock them over with my fish boys. So yeah, it was a legend climb. It was. I didn't get to do it with the big brain deck. I did it with the curve stone deck.
You know what? I think there's we're all aggro players at heart. It's okay. It's okay. Hey, for the audio folks listening here, I'll read the deck list super quick. And again, the code is in the show notes. If you go to our website and click on the show notes, you can copy and paste it. But here's the deck list. So it's 2 Murloc Tiny Fins. I'd let you do it, Blutrane, but I want to save your eyes from trying to read off the screen.
I appreciate it.
2 Murloc Tiny Fins, 2 Murloc Tide Callers, 2 Mermies, 2 I can't read it either. Spawn Pool Forager, 2 Toxfins, 2 Amalgam of the Deeps, 2 Crab Riders, Firemancer Flurgle, 2 Lushwater Scouts, 2 South Coast Chieftain, 2 Underbelly Anglers, 2 Clownfish, 2 No Fin Can Stop Us, Old Murkeye, and then 2 copies of Gorlock Ravager, 2 copies of Every Fin is Awesome. So
let me tell you, Crab Rider,
rides again.
Mermy, with the Lushwater Scout, it's a good time.
Oh yeah, and no, this deck goes so fast, and I don't know. This is the thing that I love about the aggro decks. You don't have to sit through a 10-minute game. Like you're gonna win or you're gonna lose in like I don't know, half the time though that it would normally be. I know you've commented a lot of times if I'm playing free shaman or something else like that it's like yawn, or like how do you do this, these 10, 15, 20-minute games? And I don't know. I love the Murlocs.
Just state for the record that I'm being disparaged in your chat, and I just want to emphatically state for the audience here on stream and those listening at home or watching the VOD that they're all falsehoods. I am a wholesome gamer.
For the Very record, I would like to state
the most wholesome gamer I've personally ever met.
Oh, and for El Tino, if you're listening, once again, Murloc Paladin has been ratioed by Murloc Shaman, the true Murloc class.
You know, sometimes I forget that Crab Rider rides again. Such a good card.
Yet it didn't quite have the impact we all thought, because the wild metagame has degenerated into a greed fest.
Oh my
right?
goodness.
It's fun. Like I queued, like people are playing that. There's like an aggro paladin with the 40 cards in it, and I'm like, what is this? Like, but people are just having fun with this stuff, and I think it's kind of neat. I mean, I was beating it, so that's nice.
That's the thing that we're like. I like seeing these super greedy decks because a lot of times, like, you'll get high rolls, but sometimes if somebody, whatever. But a lot of times, I feel like, yes, play the greedy bad decks, and we'll steamroll you. It's great.
But this is the thing; they're not bad, right? Like, so I mean,
there's
so we've gotten to the point where, like, the only aggro deck that really has game is aggro rogue and maybe hunter in certain contexts. So what's happening is everyone's going to the extreme of greed to kind of outflank each other. So Cthulhu Druid, right? You're running Cthulhu Druid. That beats a lot of things. So how do you beat Cthulhu Druid? Well, you can't get under it. So you just outflank it and play Togwaggle Druid. And so people are playing Togwaggle Druid are then like, well, how do you beat that? Well, we play Quest Mage. And that's kind of like the last word when it comes to, like, greedy decks, right? I'm going to beat you because I'm going to take 17 turns. And I mean, this is a hot take, but I do think that deck's days are numbered, because that's the type of thing that does get nerfed in Wild. It's kind of that feels bad play pattern that time and again they've gone after, and it's really, I mean, you mentioned it earlier, the quest mage that we all liked with the giants and the mana cyclones. That was cool.
At least then it was.
This one is not cool.
It was like a 2-turn OTK. Now it's just like death by attrition. I felt so bad because I was trying to learn the deck and I didn't know what the heck I was doing, and I won by taking 15 turns in a row, just trying to, like, I was like roping every turn because I was trying to figure out what the heck I was doing. And I was playing against some big priest, and like I felt so bad about it because I in the old days it was like, yeah, you play a board of giants and then they kill the person the next turn, and now it's like I play a board full of like 3/2s and just take infinite turns and get through their taunts with my random crap, hopefully. And it was just I don't know, I felt so bad because, like, literally it was like 15 turns in a row because it was Bran, bird, potion, bird, and I would have just been taking turns forever, and it was disgusting. And
now, when you play against it, and you know that you're gonna lose, do you make them play through their 15 to 20 turns, or do you just concede right away? You concede?
Well, it depends what's in their hand.
Because I like to let them do it, because first of all, it can't be fun, doing that over and over again. So I'll go make a sandwich, right? and what if they lose their internet connection, or they screw up?
It's
possible.
I always did that to the Ignite Mage players. Would like, all right, do you have it? Can you get it off in time? Maybe not. And I mean, I'll let it play out sometimes, but it just depends. It's such a feels bad deck, and I agree with Blutrane in that if it gets hit, that's the reason.
And if it gets hit, then I think there's a cascading effect, right? You're not going to want to play Togwaggle as much as you would have, although if Cthulhu Druid stays popular, maybe you do. But it kind of has a little bit of an effect. It's interesting because you'd think that, like, at first all the greed was centered around Renenthal, but like I don't know. Like, I don't know what to make of that card. Like, there's a lot of divided opinions among it, and I think the data on the Renethal Pain Lock Dark Glare is pretty good. You know, playing Giants at 20 health seems okay, and the deck has a lot of draw, so you can kind of mitigate the 40 cards. But some people were like Meowth were experimenting with 40 card free Shaman. Martian Boo, who's a big free Shaman enjoyer, is adamant that 30 cards is the way to go, and I don't know what's what. My instinct is always that less is more, but 10 health is not nothing. And when a lot of the aggro decks have like break points when it comes to health, it could make a difference. So but I don't think we really got to see that take full effect in Wild because the best decks are pretty well established, and there's this kind of like greed flank.
Yeah,
but that's just my experience. I think that different parts of ladder have very different experiences.
I think so.
Your mileage may vary.
I think you were on vacation last week, but we read there was a post on Reddit. I don't recommend visiting it, but this
Reddit.
But this was an interesting comment that kind of resonated with me, and I'll say it real quick just so that to get your take on it. Here was the thought, right? It says, this is by someone called Ached Teacher. I'll add onto your post. Cards 31 to 40 are going to be worse than cards 1 to 30, no matter how good the card pool is. Say there was an objective number to attach to the power level of cards. Say the format had hundreds of cards, all with power levels of 90 to 100. The top 30 cards are going to be in the 98 to 100 range. The 31st to 40th cards are going to be in the 95 to 97. Still really good, but including them just makes your deck worse. It's a mathematical truth, and that's why good players stick to small decks if there's no other upside to having a large deck. It's like, that's an interesting concept, and I don't 100% agree with it, but, your chance of... It depends. Like in Fish Rogue, I don't want to run 40 cards. Like there are times that we would play our Secret Passage just to thin your deck because I want to draw the cards that I can win with versus having, a million cards in my deck. And so it's an interesting thought.
Yeah, but when you look at it like Warlock with so much draw and so much consistency, I don't know.
Warlock...
So this is where I kind of pull up HS Replay. Maybe there's enough data by now, although it's doubtful. But generally we look at cards and not decks. But I'm gonna break the rule just as a quick cheat to see here. So if we look last 30 days, Wild.
I will say that Warlock's ability to draw cards, I think, sort of mitigates that a little bit.
Yeah.
And by a little bit, I mean a lot. So
I think this is the Renanthal version. Yeah. So Diamond through Legend, the Pain Locks that are running 40 cards are doing pretty good. That's Diamond through Legend. If we look at just Legend, it's the best performing Warlock deck in top 1000. They don't even filter by that, so it's kind of scuffed data.
Yeah,
but I think and then you have Mechathune, which is the second best deck. So Even Lock's not even on here, and we know Even Lock's good. It's really hard to tell because the problem is that a lot of these cards are common to both 30 card Warlock and 40 cards. So it's really hard to tell. I think you need someone who has deeper insight or maybe better data to really kind of drill into it. I'm just looking by card right now to see if there's any distinguishing characteristics here.
We'll have to ask NHL about it. Always.
Yeah. I think that there's just so much overlap. It's really, really difficult. So looking just at the cards, Runic Egg and Cataclysm are really high up there. But then you see Starfish, Giant. I don't know. I'll say this. It might be worse, but it still seems to be performing decently. But yeah, it's again, I think because of some of these other decks, we're not really seeing it to its full effect. I just want Quest Mage to go away. I guess that's really the whole point of this long rant.
I wouldn't be opposed to that.
I think it will. I don't think the game was designed for someone to take so many turns.
Oh
I don't
gosh.
think that,
two turns is one thing, And then when people started greeting like Vargoth into the list and it was 3 turns, like kind
I
of
remember people were malding over 3 turns,
Yeah.
yeah, but when it's now like 5, 6, 7, 8, 15, like
And you get pecked away slowly.
It's distasteful. Hydra, what have you been playing?
Well, I've been doing the thing that Blutrane has been shaking his head and booing the whole time.
Feeble prawn.
and I've been playing Big Priest, but I only stopped at Diamond 10 with Big Priest.
A tale of terrible tragedy.
It's all pouring out for Barnes.
And yeah, right. Yeah, it's kind of funny playing with a different list than it used to. Like Vargoth isn't in it. You just have Gahoon and
Neptulon. Yeah.
Neptulon. Like that's it, right? And sometimes I was wondering if Neptulon was in my deck because I just kept pulling out Gahoon over and over and over and over again. But
Poor dear.
I mean, but I like. When Big Priest hasn't been, in the meta for a long time, and the last time it was in, I definitely played it. And sometimes I like to turn my brain off and play some games, and it's the perfect deck for that, right? Like I can lay in bed with my wife and we can watch TV.
Hey, this is a family show, okay?
Hydra.
You can
family show. Let's not speak of Big Priest.
I can lay in bed with my wife and play Big Priest.
You said the quiet part out loud again.
Nate can bleep that one later.
I'll Mrgl you later. That's fine.
But yeah, so like we've been watching a lot of shows recently. We've been marathoning the Orville, which is such a great show. I love it. And yeah, I can just sit there and I can play it. And when I get sick of it, I can play some Diablo Immortal. Don't curse me for that, but I've been playing a heck of a lot of that too.
So what level are you now in Diablo Immortal? I have noticed you've been playing.
Man, you must have played so much, but like I have surpassed you, but I'm at 60, then Paragon 40.
Okay, so you got about 10 or 12 levels on me.
Yeah, but
now, in fairness,
but you haven't played in like a while. So.
Yeah, I haven't played in maybe 3 weeks. I stopped playing it, and it's not because I disliked it, although there are a lot of things I dislike about the game. There were a lot of things I did like about it. The reason I stopped playing is because there's actually so much to do that
there is.
I was like, I don't want to have this be the only game I play. Like the end game has so much to do, and it's varied and it's interesting, and I basically was neglecting other activities and games, and I just I think I might come back to it, but yeah, it there's a lot to do there.
It's made for a full-time streamer because you don't run out, like in Hearthstone, say you've got your 3 daily quests that you have in your weekly quests, and you can finish those off and then have kind of like nothing else you're kind of going for. It's all day long. You could do it all day long, trying to complete your dailies and then your shadow quests and grinding hilts and
I had a list. It was like a checklist to optimize it, and if I ran through the checklist in the most optimal way at the optimal times in the day when things are open, it would take me about 2.5 to 3 hours to do it.
That's not too bad.
But it was an intense, like it was like, I was sprinting the whole time. Like I wasn't like taking breaks, so like I was like stop watching it, and that's why I was like, do I really want to invest that time into this? And so I don't. It's fun, but like you are correct. It is engineered to really be your game.
Yeah, and think
your
about
main
that
game.
You got it down to 2.5 hours a day, whereas Hearthstone, you'll get a quest that says play 3 mage games.
Right.
Right, like that's your daily. Not that's not going to take you. I mean, unless you're taking 20 turns per game, it might take you a while. But yeah, it's a bit much. But I'm enjoying the new season started yesterday.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
I never really got into it. I
New
enjoy
battle
it, but like, oh my gosh, I think I'm just gonna wait to play Diablo 4 when it comes out. I will say I've been jamming a bunch of standard lately, and talk about why in just a second. But
that's why I played standard and discovered the joys of Murloc Shaman.
Hey,
so Nate,
hey, do you?
Why have you been playing standard?
Right?
Why have you been playing standard?
That's a good segue. Do you want to? When do you want to debut your thing? Do you want to do that now, or you want to wait?
Oh, yeah. All right. Yeah. Really quickly. So
this is fun. Right?
I don't know when this started, but I think it was Nate that instigated it. Last expansion, I've been up in my profile picture in Twitch emote game. So now that the Sunken City is behind us, I needed to embrace the new expansion, Murder Castle Nathria, and I'm debuting my new profile pic and Twitch emote, PikaClue.
Bum, bum, bum.
So, I'm just saying, this right now is a tier 3 emote on my Twitch channel. I'm going to be bumping it down to tier 1 after the show. If you want to have the best Pika emotes on the web. I don't stream that often, so you probably shouldn't subscribe. But Nate helped me realize the vision and really outdid himself with this one. And I gotta say, it's in the pantheon of Pikachu emotes, this is my favorite one yet.
Oh, fun!
So for those who are listening, you've got the surprised Pikachu with the little Sherlock Holmes cap and the hourglass with the Castle of Nathria backdrop. It's all really well put together. So I'll be rocking that for the next few months.
Nice.
And I kind of got my holiday Pikachu theme already worked out. So we're gonna make this like I always say quarterly, but every expansion I'm gonna try and stay in theme.
Nice.
So there you go, PikaClue.
I will say that your efforts with your tweets and emote game and everything definitely don't go unnoticed. Whenever I look at your tweets, it looks so professional. And just it does. It really does.
Social media manager in the making here.
Yeah.
Oh my god. The emotes on the tweets are always like, I love them. We added way back when a whole bunch of that stuff to the Discord, and you either like love it or hate it. And I know you'd said in the past got criticism for like, why do you put all the emotes in your legend tweets? Like, I think it's hilarious and I love it. They're always I
started using bullets, and honestly, like, I wish I could take credit for it, but like I've totally like HS Replay when they post their like deck tweets, like what decks are performing well on ladder, they use the emotes to bullet them, and I thought that was a really good way to like engage with that content, because like I'm a visual person. So I just started doing it myself, and like most things, probably overdid it, but if you kind of go through the history, it kind of has evolved over time, and honestly, like I don't really care. Like I don't know. Twitter is a weird thing for me. I really try to keep it in the realm of just entertainment. And it's just really like, because I can't stream that often. It's just kind of my outlet to engage with the community and just have some fun with it. So I try not to take it really seriously, and I've kind of leaned into it. So the more people are like, hey, you got a lot of emotes in there, the more I'm going to kind of like, I'm going to see how far I can push it until it kind of falls over the edge.
Well, so like my son, he makes some YouTube content. I'm not going to plug it here or whatever, but he does Fortnite stuff, right?
Okay.
And he came in and he asked me one day, how do I put emotes in my YouTube title, like for my video? And I said, well, why would you want to do that? And he's like, because people will click on it. And I'm like, no, they won't, right? And I'm talking to my 12-year-old at the time. He's 13 now. And he's like, no, seriously. And he showed me some video with statistics on what gets clicked on more. And this video that I watched with all these stats was showing that the ones with the emotes were getting the most attention. And I was like, all right, well, let's put some emotes on your YouTube video titles. So that's what I do. I helped him, and now he just does it by himself. He knows what he's doing. He uses that DaVinci Resolve and edits all his own videos and everything now, which is insane to me.
Wow. Next time you can't come on the show, we could have him on instead.
Yeah, he can edit the show after. You won't have to do it.
Hey.
So someone just asked me on my Twitter banner, what is going on with that? So there's a picture of a
Oh my God.
there's a picture of a shepherd with a bunch of a flock of sheep with a Pikachu head over it. So that was a meme that that my friend Gasu made for me when I was playing a lot of Odd Quest Hunter, because what happens is when I get really excited about a deck, I start talking about it, pushing it. I got Nate to play it. I got Hydra to play it. I got a bunch of other people to play it, and we were all kind of terrorizing ladder with Odd Quest Hunter. It was like I was the shepherd that was like gathering the Odd Hunter flock, and then that turned from a positive to a negative. I started being decried as an Odd Hunter main, and so I just threw that up as the banner because rather than have it be a disparaging thing, I owned it, made it my own.
That's right.
And the minute that Odd Hunter becomes viable in the meta again, I will be playing it. But it never will because it's toxic and probably shouldn't be viable.
It's really interesting when Stormwind rotates. I'm really curious what they will what they'll do with the quests.
Well, they kind of killed Hunter with the rapid fire. It never was quite the same.
Yeah.
Although you could play it non-odd, it never really felt as good. I'm really curious what they're going to do with the Demon Seed and Stealer of Souls. Are they going to rework them? Are they going to stay banned? Are they going to power creep so much that they could just unnerf it and it won't even matter anymore? Just like, the decks that used to be OP that just kind of have fallen off. Like, who knows? So, I think it's going to be really cool. This is going to be a very interesting rotation because we're entering in some uncharted waters. Like, the first time they did the reverts, it was kind of new and exciting. Now we kind of expect it. But now with the bans, what are they going to do? They did say they were going to do something. So I'm really curious to see what it will be. And I think we're about to hit set 2. Now keep in mind, set 2 for the last 2 years has been very consequential, right? Scholomance changed Wild significally.
Yeah.
And United and Stormwind, for better or worse,
the game will never be the same. Yeah.
We're going into set 2 here. This is kind of exciting and a little bit nerve-wracking. Is Wild gonna be broken for the first 2 weeks of the expansion's release?
Maybe. We shall see.
Maybe you'll figure it out on the Theorycraft stream.
Hey. Maybe. So yeah, before we talk about the standard thing real quick, let's change a different direction a little bit. Talking about Theorycraft stream, I want to just look at one card. We haven't done big card reveal or start looking at all the single cards, but there was an interesting one that was released, and I wanted to look at it real quick because it looks fun. So it's called Remorina Living Blade. This is a warrior legendary weapon. Well, legendary card, legendary both. It's 7 mana 4/10 with rush. After this attacks, equip it, and then it's a 7 mana 4/10 weapon. After your hero attacks, return this to the battlefield. So there's a video floating around, and I'll put it up on the screen in a second, and it looks like, at least from what I've heard, we were talking about it pre-show, that supposedly it keeps any enchantments, like or things like while it's a minion, because it doesn't go back to your hand. It just swaps back and forth between attacking on the field and then your weapon, and then back to the field and then back equipped as a weapon. And so if you give it charge, or you give it divine shield, or you give it whatever, like apparently that stuff holds, kind of like a King's Bane, I guess. You know, I saw somebody said that belongs in a museum. Like, yeah, draw 10. But it's really interesting. And then I saw somebody posted like an OTK floating around, which I don't know. I haven't really looked that deep into it. But this will be interesting. Note that it is odd cost, so there's that. But let me pull up this video real quick to show everybody what it looks like in action if you haven't seen it. Bear with me for 2 seconds here. Just gonna...
One Mississippi?
Yeah. All right. So here it is on the screen. Here, let me send you guys the link to it as well. And then I'll play it. I'm sorry, it didn't even occur to me that you guys on the screen aren't going to be able to see it, or on the Discord call, but here you go. So here it is. You play it, it attacks, it equips, etc. So let me hit play, and you'll probably hear there's actually sound effects on it as well.
Your blood for the sire! Into ribbons! Make them bleed! Blood for the sire! Into ribbons! Make them bleed!
It's gonna get old so fast. Into ribbons!
This is an interesting card, and we were talking a little bit about it before the show started, and there are some interactions that make it actually... I want to sit and say something's going to be broken, like who knows, but it's definitely a card to watch.
It'll be interesting based on the interactions of going back and forth, and just the thought of it keeping enchantments is like, wait a minute, that's kind of crazy. So
Yep.
We're definitely gonna have to play this on Theorycraft Day.
Yeah. By the way, somebody asked earlier, I think it was in Discord, about like, so all of the theme of this set is murder mystery, and we've seen all these locations, and so then they revealed this, and the question was like, are all the classes gonna get weapons, because it's very on point, right? Here's the murderer and in this location with this weapon. There was an interview, I believe it was Cora gave earlier, and they said the response was, well, we already had what do they call it? Hold on, let me pull it up, because I thought it was pretty funny. In Stormwind they had the items, whatever they're called, right? Let's see here. There was they called them profession tools, right? They had the so the quote was, hey, well, we already had profession tools in Stormwind, and we didn't want to do that again. And then, my editorial was like, and we also didn't want to get sued by Hasbro for copying Clue. And so the toolkits were like, we didn't play them a lot in Wild, like the Paladin one that had every time something lost divine shield, it buffs in your hand, and the Hunter one that when something died,
ironically, I think the priest one probably saw the most play in Wild.
Yeah,
right? That was even pretty fringe.
The shadow
cloth needle,
the shadow needle thing, yeah, and then there was
I don't even know what the other ones do. The Hunter one did something with beasts.
Yeah.
I'm failing at Hearthstone trivia right now. I don't even remember what the other ones did.
They also already...
I don't recall. Because they were like they didn't do much for us. I think we saw a little bit of the Paladin one with some of the Divine Shield like stuff, but even then not that much. But, I don't know. Yeah, Nug, I don't even know what cards you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly, right? Like,
It's-
what does the mage one do? I don't even remember what the art looks like.
Oh,
At least I
yeah.
can visualize the paladin and the priest one. But yeah, they didn't see a lot of play.
The mage one looked like a quill, pen, and ink set, and after you played spells, it reduced the cost of a spell in your hand. You had to play X amount of mana worth of spells, and then it reduced.
Oh, Rune Mithril Rod, of course.
I'm
I
sorry.
didn't even realize that was part of the. So yeah, okay, that one.
Oh,
that card was.
that was a good
That's
card.
the outlier.
And the fact it still sees play at 5, it's so good that I didn't even equate it as being part of that collection of cards. So it's probably just me like trying to forget things.
No. I mean, Rod was good, and the rest of them were bad. So
No, I didn't equate Rod with them because it was such an outlier. Yeah, Rod is that used to cost 3. Can we just reflect on that for a second? It's seeing play in a meta wild deck at 5, and it used to cost 3.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
pretty.
it's just mind blowing. Anyways, sorry for the tangent.
No. It's all good. It's all good.
So does the tweet imply that there are going to be more of these kind of legendary weapons, or is it kind of a one-off?
No, I think that this is it. So there's actually, we'll get into it later, but there's a pretty big lore component actually, and so this has there's a big story to it. I shared it in the Discord under the I think it's in like the spoiler new expansion thing, but there's a link to it, and essentially like this is a known thing. Remorina is the sentient blade of Sire Denathrius, and apparently Prince Renethal has one too. It says it's similar in nature to Vorpalia, the blade of Prince Renethal. Remorina is seen in Ravendreth accompanying its master when Prince Renethal rushed to attack Denathrius in the menagerie of the master. Remorina wounded the prince. Later, it is fought in Castle Nathria as part of Sire Denathrius, blah, 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 blah. So, anyways, there's a big lore component to it. I wonder if we'll see a second one. It sounds like Renethal has one too, but I don't know. Anyways, looks pretty crazy. Looks pretty fun. I really want to try it. Is it going to be good? I don't know. It is odd cost, which makes me kind of think that like maybe there's some possibility there. But
Hey,
hear me out. Odd quest OTK warrior
with Renethal.
Yeah, with Renethal. Why not? Now, before you call me out on the fact that the Juggernaut will replace the sword. It's an OTK, so it doesn't matter. You need 2 win conditions.
Hey, right?
And I mean, we got
Stuff all
40
the
cards now to put into decks, so why not just put it in there anyway, Nod Warrior?
Yeah.
Think of all the pirates you can put in there, so the quest isn't a waste of space. You know, the funny thing is that someone probably will do this day 1.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure. No, yeah, and yeah, maybe we'll have to come up with something for the Theorycraft stream. This is one that I really want to play, so we'll see. Hey, by the way,
Yeah, it's really cool.
Since we're talking about this theory crafting and you know, wild community stuff, wanted to give a couple of shout outs to wild community folks. We have a couple people getting some upcoming card reveals that I'm really excited about. So Corb got one, which is really cool. And if you recall, Corb won the like Wild People's Choice Awards, right? So I think Corb is
the
a
poster child of the community.
Right?
Also won our listener series.
That's true. He did that as well. I believe Mark McZ is getting one, and Zeddy is doing something as well. I think it's, if I had to guess, it's with Duels because it has a Duels logo on it. But pretty cool. I love to see the wild love spotlight to the wild content creators and stuff. So it's very cool.
There really is a lot more wild love. We used to be starving for, attention from the devs, and like as if we didn't exist. And there's a lot now. So
yeah,
keep it coming.
Oh, absolutely. Blister Guy has got one as well. Very cool. So yeah, love to see it. Anyways, yeah, so standard, and you missed in the pre-show we were talking about finances. It was so great. boring old man talk over here, but they've got an interesting thing going on right now, and it is a little bit, I don't know.
Wonky.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, maybe it's a tiny bit controversial. I don't know, but so there's this. Well, okay, so here's the argument, right? I'm kind of on one side of it because I'm a whale, but there's some bundles available in the store. They're not available to everybody. It's like some people get it, some people don't, which is kind of weird. And it's based on your rank in standard. And so there's different tier bundles. So what is it? It's bronze, silver, gold, platinum, diamond, legend. I've got up through the diamond one. I'm at D5, D4, D5 in standard right now. And so it's interesting, right? But looking at these deals, like the value is like really good, especially the higher up you get, because there's gold packs. And like I mean Canadian money
So Nate,
is a whole different story, but the value here is if you compare it to the normal price on like BattleNet, you're getting like almost twice the value.
yeah. Is it controversial because this is echoes of the Diablo Immortal monetization scheme?
Yes,
Is that why it's controversial?
well, that's part of it, but it's the feels bad that like you have to be. So here's how it was explained to me: was the concept of the bundles get better the higher up you climb, and so what they it's Armorn is because I took the screenshot a couple of days ago, but it says that now.
Actually, once you buy them, they disappear from the shop. You don't see them anymore. It's a bit wonky, the implementation.
It's very strange, right? So, but anyways, so here's the deal. The way that they explained it was that, hey, you're rewarded for your skill in the game. Like, hey, congrats, you made it to this rank. Here's a discounted bundle because congratulations. The flip side of that argument is, for those people who aren't as good at the game, you don't have access to the same bundles as everybody else does.
And they probably have less cards than you do too.
So I what do you say to that? Get good? I mean, but so here's the deal.
And you can get a discount.
So check this out.
I didn't even think of that. That's interesting.
It's an interesting concept though, and I forget because we play a ton and we hit legend and whatever. The reason that I gravitated towards this is that, so just a quick comparison. The first, I don't have all the prices here in front of me, but the first bundle, the bronze one, it's 5 packs for $2.99 US. When in the store it's 2 packs for $2.99. So you're getting 3 extra packs for the same price. The next bundle, the silver one, is 12 packs for $6.99. And the closest to that in the store is 15 packs for $19.99. And so like, wow, that's a good deal. You get up to the gold one, it's 17 packs for $9.99, which normally is 7 packs for $9.99, so 10 extra packs. And then after that, you start getting into platinum and above. Now they're including gold packs. And so the platinum one is 12 packs and 6 gold packs. And I think it was $19.99, which normally is 15 packs. But the gold packs historically, for those of you who collect gold cards, the price point on these has always been ridiculous. Like you can buy them, but it was like, oh yeah, 20 gold packs for $100 or whatever. Like it was ridiculous. Yeah. And so when I see these, the other piece for me, they're standard packs, and normally I wouldn't do this, but the new set is coming out in 3 weeks. And it, this depends on, because of duplicate protection, if you've got all of the old ones, you're guaranteed to open the new ones, right?
Yeah, so just save them.
Oh yeah, I'm not opening mine.
And so no,
I thought it's the exact same thing.
Yeah, and so that was my thought. It was like, hey, this is rad. I'm not gonna. These bundles are a great deal, and I'm gonna be opening up new cards because I don't have them yet, and so I'll just save them and open them up on August 2nd, and especially like these gold packs. And so this is the only reason I'm trying to hit standard legend is because I want the bundle, because it's such a good deal. So I don't have pictured here the diamond or the legendary one. I got the diamond one offered yesterday or today, and
do you know what you get offered for the legendary one? Did anyone share that with you?
Someone did. Let me find it real quick. There's a I saw it on Twitter, and let me look real quick. But somebody posted it, and yeah, okay.
20 gold packs.
It's 20.
How much is
it? Gold.
It's 20 gold packs. I don't know. The screenshot I have here says is in a different currency.
Wow. Okay, 40 USD. So that's going to be like what, 65 Canadian?
Yeah.
Still for 20.
Still pretty good.
Still pretty good actually.
Based on what we got before, like that, just the price point is so good, and they don't offer the gold packs very often. And when they do, like, so you remember,
it's a good thing they don't.
Oh my goodness, my poor wallet is already crying just thinking about it. And here's what happens, right? Like I queue up this even lock deck, and they go, "Oh, I've got this whole deck in gold except for 2 cards." Yeah. Or 1 card, and it's like, here we go again. It's better now with this upgrade feature, but goodness gracious, like, yeah, in the past, the price point were ridiculous, and there were so few and far between that I think I've always kind of like taken that bait. Like, please don't offer me, like, here's your tier 1 bundle, here's your tier 2 bundles. Like, please don't offer me a tier 3. I can't say no. And so anyways, yeah.
I just realized with the upgrade feature, we don't have to worry about crafting the golden legendary we want prior to opening our packs. Because when we crack it normal, we can just upgrade it anyway.
Yes, but I will say last time there was the turnaround time for being able to get full dust refund for the diamond ones was like 1 day. I remember because like Sir Finley came out in diamond, and I packed a golden one, and I got my full dust refund, but I think it was only available for like 1, maybe 2 days. It was so short. So, I guess beware. But yeah, no, I agree. This my dust has been way better utilized with this upgrade feature. You save so much. So it's really nice. The other thing I'm just so excited about is the random hero portraits coming with this new set. Will be great. It looks like we've got one more bundle in the works for hero portraits, because with the Fire Festival ones, they still haven't released. Like, you can see them in the game, but they're not available yet. At least the Warlock Nemzi one and the Shaman Murloc dude. I can't think of his name. But the Fire Festival one for those two are, like, you can see them in the shop, but you can't buy them yet. So probably on Tuesday, we'll be getting another bundle, if I had to guess. Anyways, yeah, so there's the controversy. It's that, like, you have to be good in order to get the deal. And for those people who don't hit, platinum, diamond, legend, whatever, then they don't have. Now, that being said, like, once you start hitting the golden packs, like, you've now reached whale territory anyways, and so I feel like gold is not too bad of a stretch for the average player, maybe. That being said, the other piece that's weird is that not everyone gets it, and so that's where it felt bad also. Some people being like, oh, I'd buy that if it was in my shop, but it's not, and so that's kind of weird.
So it's glitchy too. So I got offered bronze, silver, and gold this morning. I bought them. I hit diamond yesterday, although there was a gap between. I took a break, so I don't know when it registered. But they disappeared from the shop. And Pigpen was saying that he sees them in the shop still, saying is owned. I don't even see them anymore. So it'll be interesting to see if I get the diamond and platinum ones. So it's not consistent. It's interesting because it seems almost like a damned if they do, damned if they don't situation. So There's going to be people who decry it as Diablo Immortal style monetization. I will say this. The bundles in Diablo Immortal that you get offered as you progress through the game are not even worth buying. Like, if you're going to spend money in Diablo Immortal, there are better ways to spend money, although arguably it's not worth spending any money unless you're going to be spending thousands of dollars, but that's an aside. Whereas the value here is really good. So the kind of, even though you're getting good value here, you're still being decried as, you know, kind of the same predatory model. And then you got the people who do want to buy it because it's a good deal, but who are locked out of it because maybe they struggle to hit diamond or legend or whatever they are in terms of their skill set. So you've got a lot of negative. But then on the other side, they've got you, Nate, playing standard, heavily invested in it. And when's the last time you were heavily invested in standard? I remember the last time you hit standard legend, you're like, yeah, I was in the tub and I was playing on the iPad. And,
You know, I've only hit. So this is really interesting. Let me pull. I'll pull it up here. I don't.
True story.
It is. So sheep got me doing this. I've hit Wild Legend now 30 times. No, 29 times. Which is cool. I've done it every month since April of 2020. The first time was back in
when they changed the ladder system, basically.
Yeah, I think it was either right before or right after. I hit
April
Legend.
was when they changed the ladder system, because
Okay.
that was the first time I hit Legend. You never forget your first time, right?
Right. I hit Legend for the first time with Egg Paladin back in March of 2018. And then after that, I was like, well, I'll just hit D5 every month, because the difference between, like, there was no star bonuses, and the difference between the rewards at the end of the month was like one extra card, and it's just not.
It used to be people say it's grindier now. I don't know. My perception is that it was such a slog.
It's way
back in the day.
There's no way it's grindier now. That makes no sense.
It's way
Maybe
better
if you're
now.
starting with no star bonus, it is. But like,
Yeah,
I feel like even
maybe.
at 10 stars, it feels.
It's not
I
that
don't
bad.
know.
It's not that bad.
Yeah.
With the 10, I mean, I've had 11 now for the last several months, and I've had it prior to that as well, and it's way less. Like 11 is like, I don't want to say easy mode, but you kind of sail. Even the 10 is not too bad. So Wild Legend 29 times now, which is cool. Standard Legend 3 times. 3 times. The first time was with that Face Hunter that I did like co-op with Blutrane. And then I did it in the bathtub with Questline Hunter in March of this year, and then the next month in April I used that Ramp Druid before it got nerfed, and I went 12-0 into Legend.
Yeah, that was wild. I remember that.
That was great. And I haven't done it since, because like, who cares? And this is getting me to play Standard. I've been playing big Spell Mage. I'm currently, I think I'm on a 7-game win streak at the moment, and kind of just sailed into D5. But I probably wouldn't. Usually I'll do like my daily quests in Standard, and now I'm playing because I want this bundle. So yeah, I heard
Looks like it's working.
Heard that one skill level raises 50% in the bathtub. Yeah, and just wait until you add golden cards. If you have a golden deck, it increases another 50%. And so
it's probably also just being relaxed in general, right? Like, can you see yourself raging in the bathtub?
If I was playing Hearthstone, yeah. Yeah.
I'm pretty relaxed, although, I would love, like, my dream house. I want like one of those big jacuzzi tubs, because I always have these little, it's like, combo like shower bathtub and my feet hanging out the side, and just not.
Hey, I've got one of those, but it also has jets. Okay, you can get regular size ones with jets. You can do it.
Okay. One of these days. So, but anyways, yeah, it's got me invested in playing Standard, which it feels like a giant RNG fiesta between playing random mage and random rogue, and it's kind of rage inducing. Like, you can't. Should have played around it. I I mean,
I don't follow standard that closely. Someone said that never has there been so many low skill cap decks.
well, I feel like Thief Rogue is all over the place, and like the random factor is.
It's not very good though.
No,
I don't know.
It's not great, but it scams games, and that's kind of how the big spell mage is. Like you don't know what you're gonna get, and I don't know. I will say that nothing has really like gelled on me that hard. Like I've been playing big spell mage because I feel like I can pilot it really well. I played a whole bunch of that Curse Warlock, and I like the idea, but was like losing way more than I was winning. But I enjoy it. It felt good burning people's cards and zapping them with the curses, and I don't know, it's kind of fun. Quest Priest and Standard is interesting. I played a lot of that Big Beast Hunter last season. I usually hit D5 just to try to. Here's the thing: once you lose your star bonus, it sucks trying to get it back. And I took a break from Standard for a couple of months, and I went down to, it was like 7 stars or something. And having lost the bonus after a certain point is not enjoyable.
I only have 8 stars in Standard, and that sucks.
Mm-hmm.
So that only gets you to like platinum, I think, and that's it.
I wish I knew how they
Plat
figured
5.
these things.
It's plat 5. Yeah.
I hit Standard Legend about as infrequently as you, Nate. I've done it. I did it once with some jank aggro paladin because I was just farming wins for Golden Portrait. I did it once with the Gibberling Druid when it was popular.
Mm-hmm.
I did it once with Big Warrior when that was a thing for a minute. And then with Mech Paladin. Yet, I always keep 10 stars.
Huh. Go figure.
Why? So, Nate, we're pretty... I'd say that we're pretty close in terms of skill set and rank.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we enter in about the same rank. You know, we play oftentimes the same kind of... So why then am I 10 stars and you're not? Like, what? So your skill doesn't translate to Standard, but mine does? It feels so arbitrary and random, right?
You know what, though? I will say...
I goof off a lot in Standard, too. Like, some months I'll just play, like, the meme deck to, like, Bronze 7 and then just call it, you know? So I don't know.
I don't understand the system at all because we discussed, I think it was on last week's show, that on EU, I didn't play. I hit, I think, Bronze 5. Didn't play. Sheep played all the way to, like, Diamond 2, right? Lost his 10-star bonus, but I kept mine.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's a reason why. We just don't know what it is. And I've been talking about this for years now. I've kind of moved past it. I mean, it just, as you say, it sucks because, like, you know, it's especially now. I mean, think about it. Now, if you were like, I want to gain access to these bundles, and you got a 7-star multiplier, it's just going to be that much harder or not harder. Let me rephrase. It's going to be that much more time consuming for you. And you know. If you really wanted those bundles, you really want those bundles. I mean, to me, again, I think that they're trying things out. They're taking chances. I like that. Certainly, the monetization of Hearthstone has gone way up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they sell more cosmetics. There's more bundles. I will say this. One thing, I don't know who pointed this out. I think it was someone saying this on a stream I was lurking in. They're not offering the Battleground rewards anymore in the Mega Bundle.
That just started with this set. And they mentioned it. It was someone on Twitter, one of the devs, I think, and
that's a shame.
Had mentioned that they were going to extend, like, anyone that currently has the Battleground perks, that they were going to extend, but that they weren't going to be included. And what they said, which I was really irritated by, I think you'll feel this as a, you know, casual Mercs player. Oh, well, we didn't include the Battlegrounds perks, and instead we gave you 10 mercenary packs. I was like, oh, sweet, more Cariel coins. Now I can have, 20,000 of them. Like,
So I really like Mercs.
I do too, but like,
And the problem is that I don't think they're doing any favors to the format when they force people to do bounties for like the Fire Festival, or they're giving people 10 Mercs. Like, I'm sorry, like I like Mercs and I invest a lot of time into it.
yeah,
But
same.
10 Mercs packs does not equal the Battleground pass or whatever you want to call it.
No.
And I understand it. They're trying to monetize the game. They want, like, their most popular game mode probably makes them the least amount of money, and they need to try and figure that out to sustain it. But
Yeah, but they're
I don't know.
That being said, though, they sell cosmetics for Battlegrounds all the time. Like,
But are people buying them? I'm not implying anything with that question. I have no clue if people are buying them or not. Like
I stopped because I don't play the
stopped?
mode.
I know one person who buys them all religiously. That's it.
me?
Oh, you. I know 2 people who buy them religiously. I didn't know that you bought them all.
Oh, yeah.
Ben from work buys them all. At least he used to. He's been not playing as much. Maybe they do. Is that I mean, Riot funds all their games basically through cosmetics. Blizzard doesn't. I don't know if that works or doesn't. I do want to see the game flourish for a long time to come. I think that they're trying things, and some things are successful, some things kind of backfire. I think that they should keep trying things, but I think that they sometimes do stumble into obvious traps. Like, they must have known that people weren't going to be happy replacing Battleground perks, if that's what it's called. I don't remember what the actual thing is called, the Tavern Pass, with 10 Mercs packs.
Well, and a lot of
Like-
people don't play Mercs. Like, I don't know. I mean, I feel bad for saying it, but I kind of think that I'm kind of curious how successful it's been. I really don't know. I mean, maybe ask Zombies or somebody that plays more.
You saw
But, like-
Firestone released some stats from their tracker, which is probably not very indicative. So Merc's PvP is like flatline dead. Merc's PvE actually has a decent amount of people playing it relative to like the other modes that are dead.
That's because you have to grind the PvE before you can play the PvP.
Yeah, like I haven't played the PvP. Like, I didn't play it for a while because the meta was god awful with Trigor the Lasher. Now it's actually really good. The problem is they dumped 20 new Mercs, and I've been grinding on them hard, and I've changed my approach to make the grind more sustainable, but it's still a big investment up front. And they are supposedly reworking the coin system, and they're adding an end game, and I'd like to see more PvP. But obviously it's taking more PvE. Compelling PvE. It's taking more time, and
I love
probably not going to see it.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed the PvE. I've got like most of them done heroic. It's really had been fun and a good way to like level up some of the characters. I will say I've absolutely enjoyed the free diamond cards that we've been getting, like Diamond N'Zoth, Diamond Yasharaj, Diamond Yogg.
It's interesting. So those events have been wonderful, but they've been criticized along the same lines as this standard pack bundle thing we've been talking about, because everyone probably can get Yogg for free. Task 2. But like you need a lot of the Mercs to do the high. Like getting the Diamond Portrait is even with the Old Guardian and the Zombies Go Non guides, they can get tough.
They can.
If you're missing a key Merc for a challenge, like it,
well,
you need to be invested in the game mode to get those rewards.
You can't just be a newer player. I mean, you could do it free to play. They have those videos too, but if you've only gotten into the game mode somewhat recently, it must be impossible.
It is, and I think this is where I forget sometimes as more of like the whale player or somebody who's invested a lot of time and frankly a lot of money into it, is that when I've got all of the cards, like, okay, cool, I can just do it. I did a co-op a while back with Goliath, who was trying to unlock one of these old god things, level up some cards or whatever it was, and I was like, oh yeah, use the nature comp. Oh, I don't have Malfurion. Oh, okay, that's fine. Use the holy comp. Oh, I don't have Anduin. All right, well let's try fire. Oh, well I don't have Rag, and it's like, oh my gosh, like these are the good. You need those legendary cards, and you can grind the coins, but it takes forever.
Yeah.
And the monetization of it, like the pull rate of like cards from packs, like there's one good way. We've talked about this with zombies before, is the idea that like the only time I'll buy the bundles is if I can, I guarantee I'm going to get a diamond portrait. Like I bought one this past week because I was gonna guaranteed get the diamond thrall, and I was like, oh, okay, I will do that. But if it's just like random legendary card, like yeah, no, I'm gonna get a baseline portrait for someone what I've already got the good card, or I'm gonna get a golden version of some Mrgl that I don't want. Like it's just and then these packs, like those. Hey, so I got this bundle and those 10 Mrgl packs. You know how many portraits I opened up? Big fat 0, and I'm still missing a handful. Like,
wow.
And even we're talking like not even the legendary ones, like some of the epic ones, and I don't know. It's just it's not quite the same. People don't realize how good they have it now. Doing the duplicate protection for Hearthstone revolutionized things. I'll never forget. I was missing cards, and I opened up at least 3 copies of the that Murloc quest in Shaman, and I was like, I was missing a bunch of legendary cards, and I kept opening the same one over and over. Like, what the heck is going on? Like, I opened it 3 times, and I'm still missing a bunch, and I was like, I was so mad. Like, this game is rigged. I don't understand what's going on here.
Nothing is more disappointing than when you see that golden orange glow, and then you got a Nat Peggle when you already had a Nat Peggle, right? Like it's so much better now.
Yeah. Yep. Anyways,
well, I mean, hopefully they get that figured out. It'll be interesting to see how much the pass costs for Battlegrounds. It was one of those things that I liked to do because it was included with my mega bundle.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'll get it. I don't know. I don't play that much Battlegrounds, so
I enjoy it, but like, and that's what, like, I buy the cosmetics because I like having the collection aspect of it. But if the perks, like, all it's going to be is that I can choose 4 instead of choose 2. Like, I don't want to pay $20 a month or whatever it's going to be for that. Like,
I think it was like 25 for the cycle. As Canadians, it's probably like $20 for the expansion cycle.
I don't know why they should include it in the Tavern Pass or whatever. I don't know.
They let you buy it with gold, then okay, whatever. Yeah. But I can't imagine they'll do that. They're gonna want like hard currency for that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Anyhow, well, hey, we've been at it for about 2 hours. I think let's maybe transition out. We've got a weekly challenge to go through, and want to touch on that real quick. So last week, and listen, you guys had any final tidbits or thoughts on this bundle stuff?
Excuse me.
Bless
I thought I muted. I failed.
That was a good, nice thought, though, Blutrane.
I hit the mute button. I ruined the show. I'm sorry, guys. That's my final thought.
If only it sounded like that when I sneezed. It'd be great. Oh dear. All right, so last week,
Mrgl handy.
Nice. So we do a weekly challenge each week. The weekly challenge last week was to to make a Prince Renathal deck. I think bonus points for sticking other princes in it, particularly Malchezaar. And hey, jam as many princes or princesses as you can, and yeah, you could put Princess Huhuran in, and but anyways, we got a couple late submissions which were fun. It was hilarious because we didn't get any until I think it was earlier today, and I had run into somebody on ladder playing this beautiful pile of cards right here. 50 card deck, by the way. So Prince Renathal and Prince Malchezaar and Cthulhu the Shattered for 5 bonus cards.
Oh wow.
or 4 extra cards plus the coin. I was like, what is this? On ladder, by the way, at Diamond 3.
On ladder.
And so I was merciless, but I think to the person who played this deck, Spongy, you are a legend in my heart. And I applaud you for playing this on ladder. But I was like, what is this now? That's some cards right there. Anyhow, so winner of this challenge is Ulticon, no surprise, who made a Renathal OTK deck, and have a YouTube link here to watch it. Let me just pull it up here real quick.
Have you noticed how many views Ulticon's video has?
I had 26,000.
Yeah. Yeah. I can't believe it blew up.
Right?
Wow.
Yeah, that's
Well done.
as Thrall would say.
That's incredible.
All right, so let's.
It really is.
Sorry, I'm trying to resize this for the screen here. Here's his Prince Renathal OTK deck here, and I'll share the link in the show notes, and here it is in chat if anyone wants to check it out later. And yeah, subscribe to Ulticon. So just a phenomenal player, by the way. These we always like sing Ulticon's praises because we're like, oh yeah, who can get the biggest weapon? And it's like 10, 15, 20 Ulticon. 8,000. It's like, what? It's like, so all right, so here's this Prince Renathal 2K. It's only 42 seconds, so I'm just gonna play it here. Paladin deck, by the way. So it looks like the combo is Zeph doing Shield Slam on I don't know the name of the minion. It's the one that whenever you it takes damage, you do that much damage to the hero, and so it's a whole bazillion armor with sorry, YouTube autoplay. A whole bunch of armor with the Cal, and then Zeph Shield Slam. Oh, and
yeah, this is done with Mage, by the way, right?
Oh, was it? No, it was, I think it was Paladin. It's Paladin.
Is it Paladin?
Yeah.
Oh, well, sorry. I see. I see the Mage hero power, so that's what I thought.
Funny. I'd probably Sir Finley with the new hero power. It was probably
so Silas. Yeah,
Silas Darkmoon. Yeah, that's crazy. That's pretty funny
combo with the Shield Slam.
Go figure.
Like, you can't even tell what class it is. That's
right?
So funny.
That's the other piece that's been pretty funny. Like, there's so many skins now that half the time one of these skins pulls up, I'm like, what deck is that? And like the rogues are never rogues anymore anyways, and it's I half the time just wait until like random we can start using random hero portraits, and then I'm gonna be confused as to what deck I'm playing.
When I queue 10x standard this month and I queue into a warrior with a non-gold hero portrait, they've been rogue 100% of the time. I don't even mull for warrior.
Oh wow.
Wow.
I did get, actually that's a lie. One time it was a warrior and they wrecked me with the AoE card because I was playing Murlocs. That was a feels bad, but yeah. Maestra is one of those things that's gonna be a thing.
Yeah.
Forever.
I tried it for a minute a couple months back with Fish Rogue. It's trying to be cute. It's not worth it. No.
Yeah.
I remember queuing into Blutrane.
I was so mad. I thought it was. Why did I get mad at you every time I queue into you, Nate? I thought it was Mine Rogue, and I'm like, oh no, you're a Mine Rogue, and then it turned out just to be Aggro Rogue, and I was like, oh okay.
So yeah, I just
you're an honorable Maestro Rogue.
I was just trying to scam wins, and it was cute a couple of times. Like, the goal was to have people mulligan wrong. And you
didn't play that for long, did you?
No, because it sucked. And
I'm 0 for 2 or 2 for 2 raging when I queue into Nate.
Cool. Let's just keep that going. I will say when I queue
think
in,
it's pretty easy to do, right? I get angry every time I play Hearthstone lately. It seems it's a me problem.
I don't know. I always queue in you. I'm like, oh no. It's always interesting, especially at this like 11x range. You're start queuing into like the really really good players. I'm like, oh no, I'm playing against Lasagna. Oh no, I queued into Rotted on my climb, and I drew Blood of Gahoon and Blood of Gahoon number 2, and then I drew Neptulon.
Oh no!
And I just bottom right concede. It was like I'm not gonna. Nope, not happening. He's like, why like you didn't have to do that? I was like, no man, I drew all 3 patches. It was not happening, and that's when I knew that it was time to like switch and not play that deck anymore. Anyways, congrats Ulticon on another
yeah, it's
job
it's
well
really
done.
awesome.
So sorry we're going off on a tangent there, but yeah, Ulticon, as always, amazing work. And I'll have to do a little bit of photoshopping and get this achievement also up on our website, Hall of Fame. Congrats on the YouTube content though. My goodness, 26,000 views. Like, holy cow, dude.
Right.
Yes, that is more than 2, as Sheep would say. So cool beans. Well, hey, we do have a challenge for this week. Let's see. You wanted to go over it, Hydra, and I'll try to find some artwork here to stick up on the screen.
Yeah, sure. We were asking in chat here because we were trying to figure out what we should do for this week, and Pigpen submitted best custom location card. So for this week's challenge, we're going to go back to the best custom card. We've done this one in the past, and we usually get a really good turnout with these best custom cards. So if you're not familiar, the location cards are the new card types that have been introduced into this next expansion. And Nate, what was the name of the website that we were using for the custom cards?
It's hearthcards.net. Hearthcards.net. And I just checked, actually, the location cards have been added to their website.
Awesome.
So they're there now.
Once you've gotten your location card on hearthcards.net, you can post a screenshot of it in our Discord in the weekly challenges channel. And the winner will be announced on next week's show, and you will receive 2 Hearthstone packs on us and be immortalized in the Hall of Fame on the Born to Be Wild website. So really looking forward to all your submissions. Everyone seems to have some really great ideas.
Yeah, it's always really fun. I'm anxious to see these. We, depending on what the challenges are, sometimes we get a lot of responses, sometimes not very many, and we've seemed to get a lot more people involved with the custom cards, and so I've been really enjoying doing that, and especially with these new locations. Should be lots of fun. So looking forward to that. Yeah, absolutely.
And remember, for this one, it's obviously not just build the biggest thing or whatever. So it's a little subjective. We sort of take a look at these and, pick our favorite.
Hey, that's cool. I like picking my favorite.
Right.
Nice.
Who doesn't?
Right? Well, hey, that just about wraps it up for our show, but I think for old time's sake, I want to kind of do something funky since we have a guest. So
and now unrelated advice
hey,
with Nate Wolf.
Blutrane, can you tell me, I'll give you an easy one. What is your pick for best jazz record of the month?
Of the month.
I need some chill vibes to listen to as I try to grind standard legend over here. And so as we do, if I'm left to my own devices to play DJ, I end up with music that nobody else enjoys. And so I typically, as a lot of people do, like Draco is my DJ, I will do the Blutrane as my DJ. And what do you recommend?
Okay, so I have 2 recommendations, and I'm basing them off of my trip to Montreal. So it just so happens that Montreal has a jazz fest every year, and it's one of the best in the world. No exaggeration. This isn't the hometown pride. It's actually really good. And this year, a wonderful saxophonist named Kamasi Washington was headlining the free show.
That dude is really good, by the way.
He's really good, and he makes a lot of really interesting music. So he's got a few records.
I like that Street Fighter one or whatever it's called.
Yeah, so that record is called Heaven and Earth.
Okay.
And most of the music that was part of that show was from the album Heaven and Earth. Would really recommend it. A little bit of a challenging listen. As a bonus, on his first record called The Epic, he does a cover of a song called Cherokee with lyrics, which is really awesome. I was listening to it today while I was working. So that's my pick. If that's a little bit too rough, you want something a little bit smoother, what I was listening to on the plane ride back is a record called, and I'm pulling it up here because I'm old and I can't remember anything. I actually recommended this record to Zombies, Goes Nom Nom. He played the whole thing on a stream. He really enjoyed it. The artist is called James Taylor Quartet, and the record is called In the Hand of the Inevitable. This is early 90s. It's kind of like a soul, acid jazz, kind of like a funky vibe, really smooth. So if like the Kamasi Washington thing's a little bit too gritty for you, a little bit maybe of a challenging listen, then definitely James Taylor Quartet and the In Hand of the Inevitable is a really, really awesome record, which is the kind of thing you probably would have heard me listening to unironically 20 years ago as a young lass. So those are my two recommendations for the month. Of course, if you ever want other recommendations, I'm always happy to provide them. That was an easy one. I thought you were going to ask
No,
something
that's a
embarrassing.
that's a softball one. That's a
you gave me the
softball one, right?
softball.
Have you ever?
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna play a game. We're gonna play a game. It's called Never Have I Ever, and
Never have I ever listened to a country record not under protest. Although I will say this, your significant other can have different musical tastes than you, and you still can have a very happy marriage. We're going to be celebrating our 14th anniversary very soon, and my wife likes country music. I don't judge. She kind of like has the same reaction to like the music I like to listen to. So Hong Kong pop and country music. I mean, what a world.
well, you heard that here, folks. So wiser words were never spoken, and you heard that.
Oh wait, I'm getting yelled at here. Good.
Hey, so everybody, check out Blutrane. By the way, I love how you always say stream infrequently, because that's I kind of copied you on that one, and being able to only stream when I feel like it is a very nice a nice thing to be able to do. But twitter.com/Blutrane or @Blutrane. It's BLUTRANE. I imagine it's probably the same at Twitch, but we always enjoy having you on the show and hanging out and having fun.
Always a pleasure.
I love being here.
Thank you. All right, I'll do it for real. Wiser words were never spoken, and you heard that on
More to be wild.
Perfect.
Job's done.